That was another role she played delightfully, so I hated when she died at the end. Spoiler alert.
All right, enough making fun of the poor woman. From SJP to obesity. So Mike Bloomberg's proposal last week to ban large sugary drinks was mostly met with scorn. But now, a few brave souls are jumping to his defense, like David Frum. Yes, Bloomy's No Labels buddy says we owe Mike thanks for being a visionary mayor in the struggle for public health. And Frum disputes its chief criticism of the ban, writing, quote, "The liberty restricted is not the liberty of the soda drinker. The liberty that is being restricted is the liberty of the soda seller to manipulate known human weaknesses to the seller's advantage and the buyer's detriment." Get it? We need smart people like Bloomberg and Frum to protect dumb old us from the evil soda sellers. Meanwhile, Bloomberg's putting the mayo in mayor. On Sunday, he revealed he loves this stuff, saying, quote, "I love BLTs. Probably a lot of calories in a BLT when you put as much mayonnaise on it as I do." What a joy he is. I bet you do anyway. Here's this.
It's almost like he knows he's being filmed because he looks at the camera every time. The camera?
Oh, I just got a note from the producer that Emo Phillips is still alive.
Yes.
I did not know
I don't
that.
believe that.
Well,
I
now that we
refuse
know,
to.
I'm happy. Jim, you must be so grateful that there are smart people out there who know what's best for us and how to run our lives.
Typically, I do agree with that because recently somebody told me that what condoms were for. Actually, I would just put them on my fingers and wave at girls, and I'm like, oh, that explains why I'm taking Valtrex. But I'm against the soda ban. I don't, or just the 64-ounce, because if it wasn't for obesity, who would I hit on at 2 in the morning?
That is so true.
Get it? Fatties.
But, you know, it pisses me off, Diane. Here's the deal. Terrible, man. Okay, if you modulate sodas, they're modulating something that is essentially harmless, and they're modulating based on the quantity of something. It's like you could possibly not have a swimming pool because you could drown in water.
Exactly. No, it's ridiculous. I mean, this is the nanny state to the nth degree, and they're talking about the companies needing to be responsible corporate citizens. What about the consumers needing to be responsible? How are you going to hold a company accountable for a person's choices if you're not going to hold that person accountable for their own choices? It's ridiculous, and it's also ridiculous the way that it's written out. Diet sodas aren't included in this. Fruit juices aren't included in this. No dairy products, so you can get a 500-calorie milkshake, no problem. 36 ounces, bring it on. It doesn't make any sense, and alcohol isn't included in it. And, you know, if you go here, I mean, what's to stop? They're making jokes about his mayo-filled BLTs, but it's true. What's to stop him from stepping in and saying, you can't have mayo anymore and you can't have bacon? Enjoy your lettuce and tomato sandwich.
But that's the whole point of the thing about Bloomberg is he goes after things because he doesn't like those things. It's like he doesn't like smokers, but he likes BLT, so it never will enter the picture that a BLT should be banned because he likes it.
I'm just glad he's not a Miracle Whip guy. Those people freak me out. I'm glad it's actually mayo, not Miracle Whip.
You don't like Miracle Whip?
No. You?
Oh, I enjoy a good Miracle Whip now and then. It's good to change it up. You know, when you get tired of mayonnaise, it's nice and sweet.
Yeah, it tastes like metal.
Oh, you're so wrong. You know what? I don't like you anymore. Bill, you don't drink anything non-alcoholic, so I'm guessing this whole story is a waste for you.
I don't really. The thing I don't get is the people being angry at him about the BLT. His point is that you can't eat it. It's just you got to do it every once in a while, not breakfast, lunch, and dinner like most Americans. And secondly, I think
insulting to most Americans.
No,
that's the point.
Well, I hate America. I hate America.
But
That's just the obvious conclusion.
He's saying, I'm smart enough to do this once in a while, but clearly you can't buy a big gulp once in a while.
Well, and that's the point.
Psychology.
He always has the BLT with mayo available to him. He makes the decision and the choice to eat it only sparingly. Other people should have the right to make the decision to drink a 34-ounce soda if they feel like it in moderation. And you know what? If they want to drink themselves into obesity, go for it.
I will take the lumps when it comes to him telling us what not to do when he can decriminalize marijuana like he's about to do. And who preys on the weaknesses of their customers more than JJ on 42nd and 8th?
It's just one of those things, too, that, you know, get a life. You're telling me there aren't worse problems in the city to deal with than what size soda people are ordering? Come on.
Well, Greg, it's like I say in my new book, The Pomposity of Altruism. I think that
now in its 16th printing.
Yes, it really is very popular. 4 pages, but they're delightful. He's just irritating.
Yes.
That's all I just wanted to about altruism out there. By the way, if women would stop with the smoking, people wouldn't be getting so fat, because that's what you do when you quit smoking is you shove food in your fat face. That's why everybody's putting weight on.
And there are studies that show the thinner you are, the longer you live. I mean, they don't link that to smoking, but smoking generally keeps the weight off, like you say.
Yeah.
And you are a doctor.
Yes,
so
I
actually,
am.
if you tell people to quit smoking, they're going to gain weight and they're going to probably knock 10 years off their life. This is my theory.
Yes, but I don't feel
sure
sorry.
I was with you and now you lost.
I don't feel sorry for these big gulp fans, because where were they when my rights were being taken away as a smoker? They kept silent because they don't like the smoking. But now that someone's taken away their huge soft drink, they want everyone to rally behind them. I don't rally, period, because my lungs suck because I smoke. So get out of my face.
That's actually a good point. That's a good point.
No one said anything about the smokers.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it
So
now.
if you don't say anything about big gulps, when they take away your favorite food,
There you go.
no one's going to care.
I think a lot of people thought it was ridiculous when they banned smoking in
I
parks.
don't recall meeting them.
I think it's going to make me look badass when I'm drinking a big gulp smoking a cigarette outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smuggle it in my old cups.
Yeah.
What's up, ladies? Just having a huge Coke and a smoke.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of the intellectual journalists who are going on and talking about this, the David Frums of the world, simply because they don't drink it. That's the only reason. There's no principle behind their principle. It's just that they don't like it.
Greg, I may not agree with what you say, but I'll die for your right to say it. We can go to break now.
All right. From dropping pop to surpassing pop, are their prospects suspect? According to a new poll, a majority of Americans are worried about the next generation, questioning whether they can lead a better life than their parents. But folks are still upbeat about some other elements of the American dream, with half of respondents saying they were satisfied with the opportunity for a poor person to get ahead by working hard. And politics played a part, with Gallup, who's he, noting, quote, a Republican's greater satisfaction relative to Democrats with the possibility of pulling oneself up by one's bootstraps aligns with their more conservative political credo, or credo. Was never quite sure how to pronounce that. Anyway, you know who doesn't believe in the dream of owning an expensive sports car?
My kind of class warfare.
Oh, and I almost missed that. Dan, as a comedian, you think the harder you work, the more successful you will be, or just angrier?
Angrier.
Yes.
I think they're right. I think I'm a part of that younger generation, and it stinks. It just, it sucks.
Yeah.
We're like a friend that's never going to pay you back money. That's what we are. Yeah, we borrowed $20. Good luck finding me. I'm not going to answer your calls.
But okay, if you're not, okay, I agree. I can't afford to live in the neighborhood that my parents grew up in. They bought a house for $22,000, which is now like 50 times the price. However, I still have a better life because of all the doodads we have. It's like we may be poorer, but they'd have to walk around with their stereo to enjoy my iPod. Does that make sense?
It certainly does, Greg, but let's talk about let's get back on track here.
I'm enjoying him as a moderator. This is going smoothly.
Guys, I think the important thing to remember is this generation is very lazy. Give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish
well.
and he eats forever.
Well, you mentioned that in your memoir, Reach for the Stars.
I do, yes.
Which was an amazing, it changed my life.
I spell stars with a Z, though, to get the younger generation.
And we actually read that book when I was getting my journalism degree.
Yes, you did.
But he wouldn't come and guest speak at our college. We didn't have enough money.
Yes.
Well, he's a greedy person. Diana, what's your idea of the American dream?
Well, I just think it's funny that they talk about the good news is half the country still thinks you can get ahead by working hard. 50% is not a big number in this case. Only half of the country thinks you can get ahead by working hard. That to me is really sad, and I think it goes along with the whole mantra that everybody thinks now that the only way to get ahead is for the government to help you. Otherwise, you can't do it because big business or big government, not big government, big business or corporate America and big banks are trying to bring you down. I mean that mantra just keeps getting repeated over and over again, and I think it's sad that people are starting to eat it up.
Yeah, I think you're right. Bill, do you worry much about the next generation? I mean, you'll be dead anyway, but do you still worry?
I'll outlive you all. And secondly, here's how you don't worry about the next generation. Don't make one. Do not reproduce. When I'm dead, I can care less if the world goes to hell in a handbasket. Why they use handbaskets in that analogy, I am not sure. But I do have illegitimate daughters, but I don't care about them. They don't act right. I haven't spoken to Shanae, Alopecia, or David in years, so to hell with them.
Alopecia? How did you come up with alopecia?
She's a hair problem.
No, actually, the actual disease was named after her.
Yes, they saw her and they're like, wow, the opposite of that, because she is a furry little freak.
Yes, it really is. Do you have something you want to add?
Well, I'm just imagining you're going to be getting a lot of letters from upset people, and you're going to know who they're from because you're going to have little hairs stuck to the envelope. Get it? Because they're writing and their hair's tumbling out.
So you're saying they're tumbling out onto the envelope.
All right. Should average-looking people be put in labor camps where they're forced to toil away for the rest of their miserable lives? Diane Macedo discusses her new book, Welcome to Ugly Island. Now stop hurting my eyes, you hideous jerks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really wrong. If we compose a new national anthem, which musician should do it? I nominate the guy who did that song about that thing a while ago.